What's up, guys? How you do 1940 here. We are back with another episode of our New York Islanders BGM mode. And in the last episode, we simulated round one of the 2020 playoffs. And we swept the Philadelphia Flyers, Wayne Simmons' old team. We beat them in 4 games and didn't give up more than 2 goals in a game, I believe. Yes, shutout here, 2 goals against there, 1 goal against there, 1 goal against there. So yeah, we played very well in that series. And now in the second round, we are going up against the Washington Capitals. So let's check out their team. Coaching options, view lines. Let's see what the Capitals have. Alright, so the first line, Alexander Ovechkin, 94 overall, Nicholas Backstrom, 90, and Andrei Burakovsky, yeah, it's Andrei Burakovsky, 88 sniper. So that's pretty much as good as the first line as it gets. I mean, a 94 and an 88 sniper centered by a 90 playmaker. I mean, does it get much better than that? Not much better. Second line, Marcus Johansson, 85, Evgeny Kuznetsov, 85, and Blake Wheeler, 85. Man, that is a good second line. Playmaker, sniper, power forward, all of them 85s. Third line, Brooks Laich, 81. Schutz, 85 playmaker, and Tom Wilson, 83 power forward. That's a great third line. And then the fourth line, McGee is 80. Estefan, 81. And Troy Brower, 82. So yeah, the Capitals, they look like an amazing team. I mean, they have depth, especially at the middle. Their top 6 just looks deadly. And then defensively, first line, Matt Niskanen, 86, and John Carlson, 89. So they have that top 2 defensemen in Carlson, and then the top 4 in Niskanen. And then the second line, another 2 top 4s in Karl Alzner and Tetarenko. And then the third line, you have Travis Green, T. Green, 83 overall, and Chapman, also 83. Yeah, this team looks insane. I mean, they have no defenseman less than 83 overall, and their forward lineup is just amazing. And then in the net, Parent, 90 overall, and then Josh Harding is the backup, 84. Alright, boys, if we could beat this Capitals team, we can beat anyone. I'll just show you guys the lineup that we have as of right now. O'Reilly, Tavares, Toffoli, Simmons, Strome, Goudreau, Nelson, Cizikas, Smallman, Smith, Gordon, Bolesky. Offensively, we're pretty similar. I mean, yes, their first line is quite a bit better because you have the 94 sniper in there. I mean, Tavares, you could say, is close to being even, but then you have the 90 playmaker, which is better than O'Reilly, and then the 88 snipers cancel each other. Our second line, you could say, is better. Our third line and fourth lines, you could say, are pretty much even. Maybe ours are a little bit better. Who knows? Oh, well, we can check. What was it, 85? Yeah, they're very... Actually, I think they're pretty much the same, just different player types. But then defensively, we're pretty similar, too. I mean, 89, 86. Yeah, I mean, these two teams, and then we have the 89 goalie as well. I mean, these two teams, I mean, I take that back. I mean, these two teams are very similar. We have a very similar team to them. So, yeah, I think we could definitely take this team if everyone plays to their full abilities. But let's put that to the test. New York Islanders against the Washington Capitals in Washington. Game 1. First period. 1-1. Alright, so Marcus Johansson scored the first goal of the series, but then Zach Smith on the fourth line ties the game. Alright, it's the second period. Ooh, 2-2. It's a tight game. Nicholas Backstrom, the first line center, made it 2-1, but then Ryan O'Reilly, our first liner, tied the game up. Oh, third period. This is going to be an intense third period. The shots are dead even. Or at least they were. Oh, power play. We killed it off. Yes, there you go. Wayne Simmons. Alright, so it's 3-2. Come on. Can we keep it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Oh, that was a huge win. What an even series this is. Look at that. The shot's almost dead even. The goals, I mean, that's as close as it gets. We were neck and neck the whole time. But Wayne Simmons, a slap shot from I don't even know where you'd consider that. Near the corner. I mean, wow. All right, so a 3-1 win, or 3-1 win, 3-2 win in game one. We're up 1-0 in the series. That was a huge win. That was a huge win. I just pictured in my head when I saw that first line, just Ovechkin and Burakovsky getting hat tricks every game, and this just being a blowout. But then I looked at our lineup again, and I forgot how good it looks. We definitely have a good enough team to win it all. I just got to prove it. All right, game two. I want to see more of the same. Can we do it? First period. Ooh, we're down 1-0. All right, so we did not get that goal to tie it up this time. Tetarenko, their defenseman, scored to make it 1-0. Shots are dead even again, 8-8. All right, so second period. Ooh, all right, so we have not scored in 2 periods. Their goaltender Parent is tearing it up. It's a goaltender's battle right now between Parent and John Gibson. All right, third period, we need a goal. Oh, and John Carlson, the defensemen, are stepping up in the power play. Oh, and Brooks Like, their third liner. All right, Brock Nelson, he got one back. We needed another quick one, though, and we could not get it. And the Washington Capitals win game 2, 3-1. All right, so it's a very close. If this series doesn't go to 7 games, I'll be surprised. But yeah, so game 1 we were able to sneak out a win there, but in this game they took it to us. They showed us that they're in this series. Ovechkin got 2 assists. Backstrom got 2 assists. Nelson from Griffin Reinhart and Spencer Smallman. So our third line was able to get a goal there, but it wasn't enough. Alright, I'm not going to make any line changes, obviously. If we go down, I won't make any line changes unless we're really down in the series. Like if we go down 3-1 or something like that, that'll make the line changes. But if we're still obviously in this series, so I'm not going to change anything just because we lost. Alright, game 3. We need to get back in this. First period. Wow, so we have not scored a goal in 3 of the last 4 periods. Second period. There we go, we finally got one. But Alexander Ovechkin, he struck first, but then Oleg Kapitanov on the power play tied it back up. So we got that tying goal. We're beating them in shots. We need to beat them in the score. Come on. Somebody step up for us. John Tavares, the first line. I haven't seen them. There we go. Ryan Strome on the second line center. All right, period's not even close to being over, though. Come on, 5. Oh, no. Shuts. The third line center. Oh, we're going to OT. No, we're not. John Tavares, Johnny T, the captain. Oh, man, I thought it was going to overtime, but John Tavares, with less than 2 minutes left, scores on Parent to make it 3-2, and we win it. And we take a 2-1 lead in the series. The Islander crowd is going crazy. They're chanting, yes, yes, yes. There we go. 2-1 series lead. Wow, this is a very, very tight series, as I predicted after looking at the lineups. The shots were very even again. No, other than before that last goal, it was that even in score. I thought it was going to overtime. I'm surprised it hasn't gone to OT just yet. We've been able to settle this in regulation. All right, game 4. This is the big one. Are they going to tie up the series, or are we going to take a commanding 3-1 lead? All right, first period. Ooh, all right. Teams are finally stepping up as far as goal scoring. Alexander Ovechkin scores 2, with an Oleg Kapitanov again answering his fellow Russian Alexander Ovechkin, and then Johnny Gaudreau tied the game at 2. All right, second period. We're beating them. We're more than double out shooting them, but for the first time, really. All right, second period. Ooh, no goals in that period. All right, so we're still beating them in shots. We've had the 2 more recent goals, so you could say we have the momentum. There we go. John Tavares, the captain, again steps up in the third period. Oh, but John Carlson on the power play steps up. He answers right back. But there we go. Wayne Simmons. Can he get another winner? Oh, no. Blake Wheeler with a minute left. Oh, we're going to OT. What a series. Oh, no. And Troy Brouwer on the 4th line deflects it in overtime. And the Washington Capitals tie the series at 2. What a series this is. Oh my god. Alright, so story of the series, just like 1 or 2 goal periods, but then the first period was crazy. Then no goals in the second period, and then the third period, Tavares scored early. So I thought we had the momentum. Then Carlson tied it like 2 minutes later. And then Wayne Simmons scored late, so I thought that was going to be the winner. And then Blake Wheeler with a little over a minute left. They must have had the goalie pulled or something. He was able to send it to OT, and then Troy Brower, just 5 minutes into OT, was able to deflect one past John Gibson. So Gibson gave up 5 goals that game. So you could blame Gibson in that one. I mean, 5 goals and 34 shots is not very good. But man, what a tight series! What a tight. I mean, no game has been a dominant game for either side. You know, it's been very close every single game. All right, Game 5 in Washington. Who's going to pull out the win and the lead in this series? First period. Ooh, no goals again. Shots pretty much even. Second period. Ooh, 1 goal aside. Andre Burakovsky's short-handed goal, and then Oliver Ekman-Larsson power play goal. Alright, so third period. Tied at 1. Series tied at 2. We kill off a penalty. Oh, now they kill off a penalty. Oh, it's so even. 10 minutes left. They kill off. Oh, and then Ovechkin. Alexander Ovechkin with the late goal. Well, not even really late. Midway through the period. 2-1. Oh, we couldn't get a late one. And the Capitals take the 3-2 lead in the series. Alexander Ovechkin is just tearing it up in the series. What is that, his 5th or 6th goal? 6th goal, I'm pretty sure. Man, Ovechkin has just been dominant. And they win it 2-1. We outshot them only by a couple of shots. But, Gibson gave up the extra one to the grade 8s from Burakovsky and Backstrom. Yeah, that first line. It's tearing it up. It's tearing it up. You know what? I'm not making any line changes. These are the lines that got us this far. These are the lines that have kept us in every single game. That last game could have easily been won. There's no reason to make any line changes now. I'm just going with the lines that we have. Game 6. If we win, we force 7. If we lose, we get knocked out in the second round on home ice, and it is yet another disappointing year for the New York Islanders who get sent home for the offseason. Let's see how we perform with our backs against the wall. First period. Oh, it's 2-1 Washington. All right, Nicholas Backstrom and Tom Wilson. Ryan O'Reilly was able to sneak in a power play goal there. All right, boys, we really need to start scoring and keeping the puck out of the net as well. Come on, there you go. Ryan Strome in the power play. Ties it up at 2. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Third period. No! Marcus Johansson, power play goal. Oh, no, Ovechkin. Oh, Ovechkin. Oh, Smallman with the second left, and that is the season. It's all over. And yet again, the Islanders are eliminated in the playoffs. They come up way too short of that Stanley Cup. And that's been the story of this whole GM mode. Ever since that 1 year where we got close, we were 1 goal away. 1 goal away, not 1 win away. 1 goal away from winning the Stanley Cup final. We have not been able to even make it close to that Stanley Cup again. So Ryan O'Reilly, and possibly his last game as an Islander, in Game 6, a must-win. He got a goal and an assist. That second line did everything they could. Even the third line chipped in. But I think the story of the series was our first line. Our first line did not step up. John Tavares had a couple of goals, but I did not see a single goal from Tyler Toffoli or Johnny Gaudreau, I don't think. Maybe Gaudreau had one in there. But yeah, I didn't see many goals from defensemen either. I saw Kapitanov had like 1 goal. Ekman-Larsson may have had 1. But I didn't see Ekblad score any goals or anything like that. But yeah, one thing I actually want to check out. I want to see how many points Ovechkin has. Check out our stats as well. Oh man, it's so disappointing. Every offseason we try to build up our lines, and for whatever reason our team just doesn't mesh well. Either that or it just seems like every single year we always go up against the toughest teams, but I mean that's the whole point. I got to beat the tough teams. Otherwise, what's the point? But Gaudreau was second on our team in points. Capitanov, wow. Oleg Kapitanov was third on our team in points. Riley was fourth. And yeah, you see Toffoli down here with 6 points. Nelson 3, Smallman 3, DeHaan 2. Ekblad only had 2 points in 10 games. Alright, then it kind of trails off. Cizikas had 0 points in the entire playoffs. That's not good enough. Goaltenders, John Gibson 2.29. Goals against average 6-3-1 record with a 92.94 save percentage. John Gibson stood on his head, except for that one game where he gave up 5 goals. But yeah, he, just like every year, he kept us in it. But we just had those games where we can only score one or 2 goals. It just wasn't enough. But I want to check out Alexander Ovechkin and how many points and goals he had. Yeah. Look at this first line right here. I mean, actually, Burakovsky, where is he? Burakovsky, that seems like the only series he stepped up in. But Backstrom, 15 points in 13 games. Ovechkin, 13 and 13. I bet you 6 out of those 7 goals, maybe all 7 of them came against us. He tore it up in that series. So let's just simulate up to the draft. But, I guess to the draft, right here. We'll check out the playoff tree, who won the cup, the retirements, all that kind of stuff. Have to admit, I'm impressed with the season and the playoffs. I'm not. New York Islanders had a pretty good year, and it's said and done. The large part is thanks to you. Yeah, it wasn't a bad year, but our goal is the Stanley Cup every single year now, and anything short of that is just, it's basically, we're not even progressing anymore. It's just everyone got a year older. It's not even, it's kind of like the current day, like St. Louis Blues, or, San Jose Sharks. They're not, what's the word? It's like every single year, it's not like a team like Edmonton or, Buffalo, where every year that passes, they're going to get better. It's every year that passes, everyone's getting a year older, and eventually, your team's going to, it's going to get old. And that's how I feel with this team right now. Everyone, it seems like all of our best players are in their prime, between the ages of like 23 and 30. We just can't do it. I don't know what we need. Maybe we need another top 2 defenseman. I'm thinking that's maybe something we should look at, because we have a pretty good defensive core. But I don't know. I'm thinking the best way to go about this is to just stack our defense more than our offense. Maybe go more of a defensive route, because I don't know, letting up 5 goals a game to teams like that, if you play a team like Washington and you're more of an offensive team, if you give up 5 goals to them, which is likely if you're an offensive team, then you have to make sure you're good enough offensively to score 6 or 7 goals a game just to beat them. Maybe we should trade like Ekman Larson, or not him specifically, but one of our defensemen. Actually, yeah, I think it might be Ekman Larson. Maybe even tie in Ekman Larson and like Wayne Simmons for another top 2 defenseman, like 90+ overall defenseman. I don't mean a prospect. I mean like a prime top 2 defenseman. Looks like the Minnesota Wild won the Stanley Cup. So who knows? Maybe they beat the Capitals in the final. If they didn't, then that's kind of embarrassing on our part. But yeah, so let's simulate up. Check out the playoff tree and the, the awards. See who won what. And then the next video, we will head into the draft, the re-sign stage, and free agency, which should be very interesting to see who's available. But the draft, I think, is going to be very important for us, just to see what we should do. Whether we should keep Ryan O'Reilly for next year or Wayne Simmons. That's those are decisions we have to make. Wayne Simmons, I still think he's a guy that we should possibly hang on to. It all depends on his star potential. If he drops to like 3 stars or lower, we got to get rid of him. But if he's still like 3.5 stars, then I want to hang on to him, man. He's a producer. All right, so Ryan Getzlaf retired for Anaheim. That's huge. So yeah, it was Minnesota who won the cup. So we'll see who won or who retired. Brent Seabrook and Duncan Keith retired together. That's pretty fit. Wow, they played very similar amount of games. White, Jones, Dustin Brown retired from the Kings. Thomas Vanek retired to King. Jeff Carter. Wow, so the Kings lost a lot of players there. Matt Molson. Yeah, so Minnesota looks like they didn't lose any players. Pollock, Tanner Glass, Yemlin. Wow, so Montreal lost a lot of like depth players. David Backes and Jay Bomeister retired from St. Louis. Dustin Byfuglien retired from Winnipeg. Looks like Brooks Lake retired. Alright, and then goaltenders, Cam Ward, Rito Berra, Montoya, Marc-Andre Fleury retired a Predator, Anthony Niemi, and Mike Smith, who retired a Canuck. Very interesting. So a lot of goaltenders just left the NHL, and quite a few good forwards and defensemen. Alright, so we're not going to go into the draft in this video. We'll just check out the playoff tree. Let's see who the Minnesota Wild beat in the Stanley Cup Final. And they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. Wow, so this was the West bracket. Right, so Minnesota, their run to the Cup, they beat Colorado in 6, Vancouver in 7, Arizona in 6, and then Tampa in 7. So they did not have a single series go less than 6 games. So they had a long ride. And then on this side, Tampa Bay, they beat Carolina in 4, Boston in 6, Washington in 7. So those two teams, I mean, it was Ovechkin against Stamkos. I mean, those two teams are just so top heavy on, the combination of Ovechkin and Backstrom, and then Stamkos and Drouin. And then you throw in those defensemen like Hedman and Carlson to back them up, and you're just unbeatable, pretty much. And then there's the Stanley Cup Final. So Minnesota, Parise and Suter, they did it. After however many years it's been, 6 years? Alright, so awards. Let's check this out. Stanley Cup to the Minnesota Wild. President's Trophy, Tampa Bay Lightning. Alright, so Art Ross went to Steven Stamkos for the 3rd time in 4 years. Hart Memorial, Steven Stamkos. PK Subban won the James Norris. Lady Byng went to Nikita Sherbak. Yuri Korostin won the Calder, so he looks like a good rookie for the Rangers. Darcy Kemper won the Conn Smythe Trophy for the Minnesota Wild. Jonathan Quick won the Vezina. William M. Jennings went to Tuukka Rask, never mind. Tuukka Rask and Malcolm Subban. Bill Masterton went to Luke Shen. Jonathan Toews won the Selke. Steven Stamkos won the Ted Lindsay. Maurice Richard went to Ryan Johansson. That's interesting. Alright, so those are the awards. Is there anything else you need to check out? Team standings, no. No GM trackers or anything we can update in here. No, not even close. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's all we need to do, but I'll just show you guys this before we go into the draft. What do you think we should do with what we have? Because you look at our age here. Gordon, don't worry about these guys. Don't worry about the depth guys. But Wayne Simmons, he's 31. I still want to hang on to Wayne Simmons. 31 is not that old. To me, 33 and 34 are is the age where you start thinking about getting rid of players. And right now, Wayne Simmons, he's still 86 overall, still has the 3.5-star potential. If he keeps that, he's still a great player. He's only going to be 32 next year. He's still got great individual stats. He's still one of our most consistent players. He's great on that second line. Even in the playoffs, he's been consistent as far as points. Wayne Simmons, his trade value I wouldn't assume would be too much. So I say we hang on to Wayne Simmons, but Casey Cizikas, is he a guy? No, I want to hang on to Cizikas. There's no reason to give up Casey Cizikas. He's a defensive player. I mean, yeah, he doesn't get a lot of points, but he's not there for points. So don't worry about Cizikas. John Tavares, nope. But Ryan O'Reilly, we have him for another year at 7.9, but our original plan was to use O'Reilly for this year, try to win the Cup, which we attempted, and it didn't work. He's going to be 30 next year. Um, Making almost $8 million. I don't know whose contracts are expiring this year. Um, Matthew Duchesne. Who is expiring? All right, Hamonic, Nelson, Dahan, Conroy, Borsalay. Okay, so a bunch of rookies. So no one really. There's not a lot of players. So we might be able to afford O'Reilly for another year, and if we could, it would be great if we could. But I know he has a lot of trade value. But I mean, O'Reilly, he had a great year for us. I mean, 85 for face. I mean, O'Reilly is the perfect player. I mean, he's amazing in every single category. I mean, poise, offensive awareness, discipline. His entire defensive category is amazing. Physically, skating, shooting, passing, puck skills in general. I mean, everything you can ask for in a player, Ryan O'Reilly has it. So, I mean, he might be, just worth the $8 million. I mean, 60 points this season on that first line, 7 points in 10 games in the playoffs, a +4. I mean, Ryan O'Reilly, he was arguably one of our best players this season. So, that's a decision we have to make. Do we hang on to O'Reilly and his $8 million cap hit? I think we can afford it for one more year. And then, when that expires, he'll be turning 31, and we might be able to drop him down to like $5.5 million, which would be a pretty big cut. Be able to hang on to him longer, but we'll see. We'll see. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. It's unfortunate we still can't go deep in the playoffs. How do I check out the recent years? Somewhere in here, right? Statistics. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so the first year we were out in the first round. Second year we missed the playoffs. Year 3, we made it to the Stanley Cup final. We're a goal away, but we lost it in overtime. And since then we lost in the third round, second round, and second round. So 2 straight second round exits. And points-wise, they were our 2 best years. But we just can't make it past that dreaded second round. I mean, the Eastern Conference has been the dominant conference the last few years, even though the Western Conference just won the Stanley Cup. The East, you have teams like Washington, Toronto, Tampa that can just score a ton of goals. The West are, more defensive teams. But yeah, so we need to find a way to change this because it seemed like we were climbing the mountain. But look at this huge jump. I mean, year 1, we went from missing the playoffs to the Stanley Cup, and now we're kind of dropping, down the mountain. And I think our team has gotten better. So I don't know what we need to change. I really don't know. The only thing I can suggest is that second or top 2 defenseman idea. But yeah, so let me know. You guys let me know what you think I should do. I'll see if I can pull some strings and make some moves. But yes, that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one, where we will head into the draft and free agency.